than me.
Okay, we are moving from proportional relationships when talking about slope to non-proportional relationships. Some of this with you two girls we did a little bit yesterday, but I'm going to go over it again today. Okay, so when we are looking at a graph, we need to look at things that are rise over run. In order to find it, in this, if we are given a graph, this is how you will find what your slope of the graph is. So you will take a graph, and let's say I have a line that goes goes like this. Okay, is this a proportional graph?
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh. No, it is not. Why is it not a proportional graph? Because it doesn't go through the origin. This is the origin, the point that's right in the middle. Okay? Yeah. It is a straight line, which is what we do look for. We don't want lines that have curves or that have different points. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 2 points, this point and this point. And we are going to find our rise over our run. Now, when I write it like this, rise, it's because we need to look at the y-intercept. This is my y-intercept, this darker blue line that goes down the middle. Okay? So we will go up. So Savannah and Nelson, go up to the board, please. Okay, we're doing our rise, and we need to find from this point to this right here. So how many places have we moved? Okay, so starting here, we've moved 1, 2, 3, 4. So our rise is 4. Good. All right, sit down. Other Savannah, hop up here. All right, now we need to do our run, and we're moving over to the right. So starting right here, count over and tell me how many we go to get from here to here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
6.
It's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
So 4 over 6. All right. Now 4 over 6 will reduce down to 2 over 3. Just so y'all know. All right. So on our paper, where it says rise over run, we're going to do 4 over 6, which also equals 2 over 3. And then down here, we're going to write rise with a Y. Now, sometimes it doesn't give you a graph, and it wants you to find the slope if you have 2 points. So we might have, they may call it points. They may call it ordered pairs. They may call it a whole bunch of different things.
That's dirty.
I'm going to call them ordered pairs, okay? In your book of definitions, I think that we called them ordered pairs. So for this example, we're going to use 2 and 1 and 5 and 3, okay? So these are points that can be plotted on a graph, okay? So if we had a graph, and I could plot them, I could go over 2 and up 1. I could go over 5 and up 3, and that would make a straight line, okay? So we want to figure out what the slope is and how it's going to fit into our y equals mx plus b formula, okay? So we're going to set up a table because I think it's easier to read that way. And we're going to put...
Volleyball team is now released to go to their game. I believe you mean the new gym. Volleyball team is now released to go to their away game. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to put all of our x's in this row and all of our y's in this row. So what is my x in this ordered pair?
2.
Good. And what is my y?
1.
Okay, Savannah Nelson, what is my x out of these numbers?
5.
Good. 5 and then 3. All right, so this is my first ordered pair. This is my second ordered pair. So the new formula that you're going to use when you are given 2 ordered pairs is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this example, what is my y2, Savannah Grimm?
Y2.
Y and then 2. What number is that?
5. I mean 3.
3, okay. And what's
Okay.
my y1? Savannah Nelson, what's my y1?
2.
Okay, so here's my y's and here's my first row.
Oh. It's 1.
It's 1. All right, so now we need to do the same thing with x's. Here's my x,
5 2, right?
so it'd be 5 minus 2. All right, what is 3 minus 1?
2.
And what is 5 minus 3?
3.
3. So when we go to write our formula, it's going to say y equals 2/3 x. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how it's going to look on as an ordered pair from 2 points.
I just noticed that you were just sitting out there.
Well, they're getting ready to go to a volleyball game. Okay, so on your paper, we're going to write what we just did. Okay? So, my x's and my y's. You guys need to write this. Your x's and your y's.
We already did.
You wrote this down in this box?
We did that.
Great. Okay. So we're going to write down 3 minus 1 over 5 minus 2, which equals 2/3. So our formula is now y equals 2/3 x. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, for this piece right here, we're not going to get really into adjacent sides yet. So I'm just going to fill in these notes for you. And then we will come back and review these later because this is not the point of the lesson today.
I know we didn't do that one.
Right. So it's going to be 4 over 2 equals 2. And 2 over 1 equals 2.
So I think you need to be writing something.
Okay. So the next piece that we're going to talk about are our different types of lines. Okay. So we talked about yesterday how, I want this one. How we have a couple different ways that we're going to see slope on a graph. If you ever see a line that looks like this, that doesn't have a slope that we're looking at. We're looking for a straight line, okay? If you see one that looks like this, that's a parabola. We're not talking about parabolas, and they don't have a slope, okay? We're looking for straight lines, okay? On our equation that we're trying to follow today is y equals mx plus b, okay? So when we look at these, we will see some examples that look like this. We have to remember that whenever you are looking at a graph, that we need to make sure we are reading it from left to right, okay? Just like we read a book. You start on the left side and you read it to the right. So in this example, we're starting to the left, and if we were walking and we saw this big hill right in front of us, then which direction are we going?
Up.
We're going up. We're increasing. This is a positive slope, okay? Positive slope.
What if it's a negative slope?
That's a great question. All right. So if we were walking on this mountain,
Oh, that's the negative slope.
this is what a negative looks like because we start on the right-hand side and we're going to go down. So this is what a negative slope would look like. Okay? So sometimes we have weird things happen where our slope does this.
That's a cool one.
And if we were walking, would
It'd be
we increase or decrease?
Increase.
We wouldn't do either one, right? When you walk down the math building hallway, does it go up and down?
No.
There's no slope in the hallway for
It's
the
just
math
a
building.
smooth floor.
It's a smooth, flat surface. There's no slope. Remember, slope is talking about things that are increasing or decreasing.
Basically, it's just like this. For example, it's
Right.
like a table.
Or like a table, that's right. Okay, so when you see something that's like this, and we are not going up or down, then this makes a zero. Excuse me. I need y'all listening. So if we are not going up or down, then that makes a zero slope. Okay? So if it's horizontal, like this, it's a zero slope. And then sometimes we have the really crazy things happen, and we have a line that looks like this.
Okay, that is crazy. Why would a line be
Does that have a slope?
No.
It's either, so if I was walking, I would be either falling or jumping up, right? Okay?
Yeah.
This would be an extreme fall, wouldn't it?
Or like if you're like on the what was it called
Okay?
You know, like if you're like on a cruise and you go like to somewhere that has some parks that has some, you know, what you call it?
Right. Like you're falling.
Yeah.
Okay? So this, when you see something like this, it is undefined. It is an undefined slope.
I can't think of it.
Okay? Undefined slope when it's straight up and down. So on the top of your foldable, it has all of these things with examples of them. Okay? All right. So y'all get your scissors and let's look at how we're going to put this together.
I probably know how.
I need you to cut out the big box. Cut out the big box and make sure you leave the part where it says slope at the bottom. Once you get it cut out, you're going to take this top part and you're going to fold it back on the solid line. Fold it back on the solid line. Fold it back on the solid line. Okay? So I had it like this. And I took that part and I folded it back. Your next step, I know. Your next step is to fold it back over so that it meets this bottom black line. So that when you're finished, it looks like this. Just hold on. You're gonna take a bead of glue and you're gonna glue this piece down to itself. And you're going to cut these flaps open. Not all the way down. Okay, so in your 8th grade folder, you are going to glue this in on page 13. You're gonna put it in here sideways, okay? So then when you look at it, each one of yours will open up for the flap, okay? At the top, we're gonna write slope. Again, this goes on page 13.